Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Good Evening Talk. Want to welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. Give you a warm welcome to the practice of our framework. I was going to do a session tonight on integrity, and I do have a coaching session I need to do tonight for a client. Therefore, I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit shorter tonight. But I want to talk to you about where I came from. You see me where I'm at now, what I'm talking about, what I'm teaching, but where did I come from? What helped develop this process? What happened in my life that shaped the threshold of creation? And so that's what this video is going to be about. This video is just going to tell you about my story, where I'm at, and what we're looking at doing here in the next coming sessions. So here we go. My early childhood was charmed. My father was an entrepreneur, drug dealer, alcoholic, and addict. He grew marijuana and dealt heroin in the 80s up to the aughts before becoming a minister. I was my father's pride and joy. He wanted to do everything with me, and I was his little shadow. While I was attending kindergarten in a small community on the Oregon coast of the Pacific Northwest, we had a shift in our family dynamics that changed my life. I was no longer my father's pride and joy. I was his problem child. I could not do anything right and was blamed for every negative situation the family experienced and severely punished both mentally and physically. Overnight, I went from being my father's pride and joy to the face of all of his problems. When it comes to my family, nearly 40 years later, nothing has changed. To them, I'm still that problem child. I remember being in first or second grade. My father and stepmother were fighting, and she was going to leave. The car was packed, and my father removed the distributors so she could not leave. My sister and I were watching the scene play out. She came over to us and said to my sister something along the lines of, "You are an amazing and sweet girl. I love you so much, and I am so sorry all this is happening right now. I thank the world of you. Today, I think the world of you. Tony, this is all your fault. You caused all of this that is happening right now. I never want to see you again." Well, that last part never happened because she stayed. I cannot share with you enough the anger, no. The feeling was stronger than that. The rage that I felt towards my father and the rest of my family for most of my life. I spent the majority of my life feeling lost, unwelcomed, and unloved, fueled with rage. I spent years trying to fix these issues through counseling, seeking religious and spiritual healing, shamans, chakra healings, and countless other forms of healing. I constantly felt fear and anxiety trapped in my solar plexus, abdomen, and the center of my chest. These sensations would move to the upper left area of my chest and intensify. I suffered from fear, anxiety, depression, and honestly, at times, suicidal thoughts from my teens through my 20s. Not once did my family ever reach out in a loving manner, and they still don't. It is more of the same with them. If something positive happens in my life, I'm lying. If something negative happens, of course, that is all that I create is negativity, and they are all surprised I have not ended up in prison. The truth is, by trade, I'm a financial crimes investigator. Not the alcoholic and drug addict they still portray and accuse me of being to this day. Am I a saint? Oh no, not even a little bit. Have I ever done something that would have landed me in prison? No. Am I a recovering alcoholic or ever addicted to a legal or illicit drug? No. None of these things are true, yet in my family's eyes, they are. That's my life. That's my backstory. I spent years and countless dollars trying to release negativity within me. In fact, there are times that it is still there. I do not think I will ever get rid of it completely, and you know what? That's okay. No different than a scar I have on my forehead created by doing something dumb and reckless as a kid. These physical sensations are the same to me. A scar that does not heal the same as the physical scars. However, they do heal. They heal the way that they heal, not always the way we want them to heal. What changed my life from that little rage monster to who I am now? Acceptance. Acceptance of my subconscious programming, acceptance of what created that programming, acceptance of my identity, the part I call my separated self. Prior to the acceptance, though, one day I had an epiphany. I truly realized I am not my identity. That was my honesty. That was my honesty moment when I realized I was not my identity. And I got there through a process. And that was all just reading, a portion of my book that I wanted to share with you tonight regarding where I came from and what's created, again, the threshold of creation. It's all about truly realizing I am not my identity. It's that acceptance, it's the acknowledgement, it's being okay with the identity that allows me today to shift into a new state. And that new state, I get to create for myself. I get to create that state through conscious, determined choice, because it's outside of the identity that I am able to take action that I want to take. I'm no longer hindered by my habitual processes that were created when I was young. Not all of us, our identities aren't necessarily created for all of us when we are young. There's some of us that experience trauma in our teens, 20s, 30s, and later on in life. A loss of a loved one, loss of a parent, a spouse, car accident, some other illness or ailment that can happen. So it's not these things that just happen in childhood that can happen in adulthood as well, not to mention divorce. So it's all about accepting, acknowledging, becoming okay with the identity so we can make determined choice and do something else. And we really don't have a problem with the identity until we decide we want to do something that our habitual processes, our habitual habits aren't aligned to creating. That's when the problems are caused for us, because now we live in separation from who we are right now today and who we desire to become to create whatever life it is that we want to create. That's when we start to really feel the separation. That's why I'm here, to help you work through that separation, through the acknowledgement, accepting, being okay with the identity, so you can make determined choice to move towards the life that you want to create. So there's my backstory. I hope that's helpful for a few of you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Tomorrow we're going to get back on. We're going to go through identity, and we're going to talk about, integrity. We're going to talk about integrity in action and aligning our actions to our desires through processes. Until we meet again, everybody, have a great evening. Enjoy. We'll see you tomorrow for Good Morning Talk. Enjoy, everyone. Have a great night.